Innately, you are one of the people I go to for content recommendations because you haven't missed yet.
I'm just autistic, and I have a very specific like type of shit I like, and but I also don't go like overboard with it where like I refuse to watch a show if there's like black people in it or something. I don't care. Like I have friends like that that are like, is it woke? I'm like, by that do you mean do black people exist in that universe? Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like,
is
I'm not
there a
watching
woman?
it. Yeah, is there a woman? Yeah, there's a woman.
Yeah.
I'm not watching. Like, all right, cool.
You're listening to the Art and More Schizocast with your hosts, Nathan and Lucas. Nathan is a Canadian illustrator and shooter with a couple years of military experience. Lucas is an Irish tech journalist and entrepreneur. Together, they shout into the online void. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to the Art and More podcast. Lucas is alive. He's alive. BR is gone. I think he might be dead. We can't dox where he is, but he's dead.
Yeah, we haven't heard from BR in a while, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, he will have edited this episode from whatever like basement hole he's tied up in, but
yeah, if
for
you hear
all
this
intents
episode,
and
it
purposes,
means he's alive.
yes. But BR is abroad, and if you do
Tickle
him again, I'm pretty sure we said this last time, you get his spot, so I hope you know audio design. I hope you know Adobe Edition.
Yeah, I think someone there in the chat just asked when is the next chance to
Tickle
and wear the skin of the of a host to join the podcast, and that's it. If you can track down BR and kill him, you get to join.
I'm pretty sure like this applies 100% of the time, not just when we're traveling abroad. It just opens up the ability for people to do it.
Yeah.
And right now, I believe he's not even on U.S. soil, so legally, I'm pretty sure that makes him fair game.
Yeah. So yeah, if someone wants to join the podcast, get out there and start doing your recon.
Tickle
Him to death in a basement. Yeah. Man, that reminds me, that video you just showed me of an Irish bachelor party.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I'm going to post this in our Discord, but
yeah,
there's a very funny video of an Irish bachelor party where is this common in US bachelor parties too, where like you do something to either torture / humiliate the groom?
I don't know. I actually don't know. Somehow in my entire life, I come from a city, and apparently no one gets married in cities because basically none of my friends are married. Now I'm here, all of my friends are married. It's kind of weird, and it's cool. I love it. I think marriage is like one of the best things you can do as a man, or I guess a woman. But I've never been to a bachelor party in my life. Are they all like this?
Yeah, so like it's very common in like England and Ireland that like you'll see like a group of dudes out for like we call a stag do, and then the girls one's called a hens night, but a bachelor party where the guys are all dressed up, or like they dress up the groom to like embarrass him, like they make him wear a dress or some shit, right? And it's basically something to embarrass or torture the groom is kind of the rule. And in this video, these guys were on what looks to be somewhere like Spain or Mexico or something. They don't say where, but they're on like a foreign holiday, and they they seem to commission some locals to dress up as the cartel and pretend to kidnap and torture their friend and literally black bag them, and they all act as if they're actually being like taken like they're like pulled out of their cars by like dudes in like balaclavas and shit.
Yeah,
with, like, guns.
Black
And
bags
they,
on the head.
yeah, and they like put a bag over his head, and then they bring him into like what looks like some sort of factory, and they're like banging metal together and like ask him where the cocaine is.
Yeah, you hear like 3 gunshots on the way in. It's probably someone just like banging a stick on a metal drum or something.
Yeah, but and there's like they put a taser beside his head, and all like the friends who are like not black bags and are just laughing are like, he's got a taser, bro. He's got a taser. Oh, don't touch me. Get away from me. And like all this in the background.
He sounded like he was genuinely pissing himself.
Yeah, the dude's like crying like, with his hands handcuffed behind his back. I think he's put a bag on his head, just freaking the fuck
out. I am so sad. The video cuts right as they pull the black bag off his head, and he sees that the whole thing was set up by his friends. And it cuts right as he makes eye contact with the camera. And
PTSD is a lovely wedding present, you know?
That is amazing. That is... But yeah, no. To answer your question, I guess I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, it's a common tradition here in like Ireland and England. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think it seems to me that like bachelor parties in America are just getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Here it's like you get fucked up.
I've seen The Hangover. I know how this goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it's that sort of shit. But
yeah.
Speaking of movies, you saw Civil War,
dude. Okay. Yes, I really liked it. I know that you haven't seen it yet. I want to keep this, and
No,
probably so of
you can
most of the
spoil
people.
shit. Like it's fine. Like I don't care.
I'm going to
I
try
am gonna
not
see it,
to.
but I don't care.
Yeah, because it is, and like I've talked about, my favorite film studio currently, A24, making arty, depressing movies, and normally a lot of horror, which I really enjoy. But yeah, no, it is probably not what a lot of people expect. Um, to people who are listening to this right now, I would liken it more to Generation Kill than anything,
Oh,
or Nightcrawler, like with
oh,
what's his face?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Who's the Nightcrawler boy? Ryan Gosling,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I always confuse those two.
That's
Or
fair. They
you ever
just
see
roll.
the kind of famous? I think it was 70s or 80s anti-war movie. It's from Russia. Come and see.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like walking through the atrocities. It's kind of a mix of all three of those movies. And if you walk in expecting, I don't know, like John Wick but against the government, or like a cool fucking like
Red Dawn.
Terminalist but against the government, or Red Dawn, you're going to be disappointed. If you walk in being like, "Hey, I have an open mind," um, and like it fucking it's 2024. Are people watching trailers and being like, oh, this is not how the movie was presented? It's like, do you remember Drive or Inglorious Bastards? None
Yeah,
of those movies were what they purported to be, and that's usually because the studio hires a marketing agency, and
yeah.
the marketing agency just goes like, how do we make this as profitable as possible? Let's attract idiots, or like more realistically, let's mislead the public. But no, it ended up just being like, in my opinion, a really good anti-war movie. And I see people being really poopy about like, hey, they didn't take a side. It wasn't like right good or orange man bad or like oh so and so. And I think that was kind of the point. I think the entire
My
thing is
girlfriend. So my girlfriend has
yeah,
seen it, but I haven't. And
yes,
her opinion on that, whether or not they take a side, was she was like, I thought it was pretty apparent, like who like the bad guys kind of were. Like she's like, it didn't need to outright tell me. She was like, there was very clearly a faction that was not good.
yeah. But I think it purposely threw the entire thing. It's like you see both sides commit atrocities.
Yeah,
So I don't know how true that is. Even the kind of famous scene with Jesse Plemons being like, "Well, what kind of American are you?" Like
yeah,
it never makes it clear which side he's on. Like everyone's wearing the same uniforms, everyone's wearing everything. In another scene with like kind of a sniper standoff, they go like, "Hey, well, why are you trying to kill this guy?" Well, he's trying to kill me. What side is he on? Does it matter? Like to paraphrase
yeah.
the whole thing is chaos, and I think it breaks down kind
So
of realistically what a civil conflict would be like, which is like a lot of factions with a lot of viewpoints are just taking out their personal grievances. Sorry, you were saying?
yeah, I was gonna say. So there's something I want to bring up that this is like warning, spoilers ahead. I'm about to spoil the movie that I have not seen due to something my
Yes.
girlfriend told me. But
Fast forward a minute or two
yeah,
if you don't
fast forward
want
a minute or
to get
two if you
spoilers.
don't want to hear this. This will be pretty short. But Dave, you can tell me how accurate this is. She was saying that one of the opening scenes is a military group rushing the White House, and there's a war journalist with them, and when they get to the president's office, she asks him if he's got any like any quote or like kind of final words, and he gives her a quote, and then he gets shot in the head,
Not the head, in the chest a few
in the
times, and
chest.
yeah, that's
Okay,
that's how the movie ends.
okay,
I have a friend who did the gun stuff for this movie, who we actually recorded an episode with before, but he has dog shit internet, and it never ended up making it to air because it was just like an audio disaster. He spoiled the movie for me like a year before it came out. So fuck you, Matt Zaranowski. I love you. We're going to record with him again about this. But sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, so her problem with that, she said, was that she didn't think that it was realistic that a journalist would be there in that situation. And my response to that, now you can tell me if I'm wrong or right about this, is there have been many cases in countries overseas where, for instance, America has occupied, where journalists are there, for instance, at the like execution of Saddam Hussein,
Yeah.
or during major like kind of political unrest, or like world leaders dying, and that I felt that the movie was likely trying to show what that would look like in a similar situation on U.S. soil. Am
Yes,
I correct in
and
that?
Alex Garland came out and said that he's like,
Okay.
yeah, this is mirroring, and yeah, you see footage from like the Pacific Campaign or World War II, or like even the war on terror. Generation Kill had it pretty well. And there's that famous scene of the war journalist getting shot at, and he's running in zigzags back to the stack of dudes, and they all start laughing at him because he's watched too many war movies. No, that's been a thing all through history, and
Yeah. That was my kind of argument. I was like, I can understand why you would think that because we don't see that in America, but that
yeah,
is pretty much how it happens in every other country where there's war and shit. Like you can just watch the war on the internet now.
yeah,
Like we talked about the video of the like IDF soldier like fighting Hamas dudes with like a GoPro strapped to him, and like you can literally just watch like the war happening. Like
yeah. And you got to think about who's behind the camera at any point. Like, is whoever holding the camera, are they holding a gun?
yeah,
No? Okay, might be a war journalist or
yeah,
just, a
exactly. Yeah.
civilian. We are living in the fucking iPhone era.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kind of adding on to this war shit, I've been spoilers ended here by the way. I've been watching for the first time, and it's a massive oversight on my part, Band of Brothers.
Oh, are you just watching that now?
Yes, it's a travesty. I know.
No, at least you're watching it. I'll give you that. I mean,
Band of Brothers fell into that like category for me of like, films like there's so many cultural references and it's so well known and you've heard it so much you feel like you know it. Like
yeah,
like The Godfather. If you've never seen
yeah,
The Godfather, which I have seen The Godfather, but you like for years I hadn't, and I was like, I felt like I knew the entire thing due to the number of other shows and movies that reference it.
yeah.
So like
And
that was a free Band of Brothers. I was like, oh yeah, I know it's like a sick show about World War II. I know that it launched the careers of tons of major stars like Tom Hardy, Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy.
I did not actually know that.
Dude, I'm not
I
joking
want
when I say that cast is stacked. Like
this ages me a little bit. I watched it not too long after it came out. Like, I was in the military when Band of Brothers was fairly new.
yeah, it was
We'd get
2001.
together and we'd watch it.
Yeah, so like some of the names in it, like alone, like so there's some that were already famous, right? Like Donnie Wahlberg was like he's one of the Wahlbergs. But Scott Grimes, who you largely does comedy now, but every now and then does like he's in Oppenheimer. But he's
Really?
also in like fucking Ted, the TV series,
Yeah.
and
So
American
he's like
Dad.
one of those actors who like is a funny guy that does really serious things every once in a while, kind of like the Adam Sandler.
Yeah, dude, he's the voice of Steve in American Dad, the son.
What?
Yeah, but he's in Oppenheimer too, by the way.
That's
Like,
so fucking funny.
yeah,
I still haven't seen that. I'd like to.
Ron Livingston, who like is like he's famous for like shit like fucking Office Space, and he's also in like The Conjuring, and like he's another dude that's in like loads of shit. Those dudes are already kind of famous. Damian Lewis, who's probably best known for like Billions and shows like that.
I like him. I like him a lot.
I love him. I think he's a great fucking
Yeah.
actor. I'm a big fan.
He was in a show that I watched a while ago. I think he played the president, I want to say.
I think he did. Yeah, he was in.
Yeah.
He's been in a few things recently. He played Steve McQueen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he's been in. He's a great fucking actor. He's in loads of shit. But yeah, so Neil McDonough, who you know from like he's like that fucking blonde dudes and everything. He was in like Minority Report. He's in Captain America. He was on like 4 seasons of the show Arrow. He's in The Flash. Like he's just in fucking everything.
Yeah, so it's like a star-studded cast that probably launched the careers of a lot of these
like,
guys.
those are just some of the ones that were kind of popular when they shot it. Then you've got Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, fucking who else was it? Tom Hardy. I'm really going through the cast list here. What you call it? It's like when you go through it, there's just like literally like Dominic Cooper from Preacher.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love him. I did not realize that I like. Understandably, at the time, I wouldn't have recognized any of these fucking people when I watched it. Makes me want to rewatch it,
dude. So there's one like I guess it's a cameo technically in it. Like like how like there's often cameos that like are like they fit like the show or the movie and like it doesn't like take you out of it or whatever.
Yeah.
There was one during this that I watched that I was like, what the fuck? And it makes sense for the time because this actor or person was not like anywhere near as popular as they are now. But there's a scene where Ross from Friends is in it too. Fucking Matthew, what's his name? Not Matthew Perry. I can't remember his name. Ross from Friends.
This podcast is now Band of Brothers, a retrospective.
Yeah, fucking go watch it.
This week's episode is brought to you by Two Grunts Inc. Two Grunts Inc. is a veteran-owned and operated rifle manufacturer crafting firearms with professionals and prepared citizens in mind. All of their parts and components are developed, tested, and manufactured to perform and to keep on performing for thousands and thousands of rounds. Purpose-built work guns is their motto, and rifles made to last is their ethos.
With high-end components stock in all their rifles, like MB4590 safety controls, ambidextrous gas-busting charging handles, custom designed and manufactured grips, and many other parts and components that you can pick and choose from. These rifles are what you want in the range, when you're training, and when it matters the most.
Check out their website, twogruntsinc.com. That's TWO as in two and GRUNTS as in rifleman by trade, INC.com to purchase one of their rifles or other parts for sale. Use the code CBRN to get $50 off your order. That's CBRN.
Be sure to also check out their Instagram and Twitter at 2grunts_Inc. to learn more about them and the rifles and other products. Once again, that's code CBRN to receive $50 off your entire purchase at twogruntsinc.com. Thanks for listening. Now back to our show.
But there's a fucking scene, right, where Ross from Friends is he's like plays like a sergeant or whatever, and he's like talking to someone, and a dude driving a Jeep pulls up and is like, Sergeant, we've got news from the front lines, right? The dude driving the Jeep is Jimmy Fallon.
Are you fucking serious?
It's fucking Jimmy Fallon. I was watching, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why is Jimmy Fallon? Like, and it's a tiny role. Like, he's only in that scene, just pulls up and is like, yo, news or whatever. And I was like, why the fuck is Jimmy Fallon in this? And then I found out that it was that, like, this is like back when he would have been just kind of doing Saturday Night Live. And he was like still like a working actor as well. And he was trying to like break out of like the comedy role shit. And he wasn't just like a TV show host.
Yeah. Which ironically, he never really broke that.
No, never got out of that shit.
Yeah.
Another person, Simon Pegg.
Fucking Simon Pegg is in it?
Simon Pegg is in it. And Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son. And it's directed by Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks directed Band of Brothers.
Yes.
You're fucking no.
Tom Hanks directed it and Steven Spielberg produced it, and they straight up just wanted to do more fucking Saving Private Ryan.
I had no fucking idea. That was such a good show too.
Dude, it's actually wildly fucking good. Like there was multiple directors, but like Tom Hanks is one of the main directors.
Yeah. That's actually awesome. I want more television like that. I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV in general. But you mentioned the Fallout show is really good, eh?
Dude, Fallout fucking rules. So now I'm coming at this from the perspective of someone who is... I am a Fallout fan. I am not a diehard Fallout fan, right?
Yes.
I will be fully honest.
Yeah, you played all the games and stuff,
I've played 1 and 2, but I started with 3, right? So like I was already, like kind of like further along. I'm not one of like there's some people out there that know all the fucking lore and are super in depth. But I started playing at 3. 4 was pretty shit. I have a crippling Fallout addiction.
I have liked every Fallout game I've played.
I mean, it was still like good. I think it's just that like it's like people are comparing it to like the other games. They aren't happy with it, but like I still enjoyed Fallout 4. Yeah. But I have a crippling addiction to the Fallout Vault phone game, which I have an Unreal fucking Vault in.
Dude, I haven't even thought about that game in like 4 years.
Dude, they updated the fuck out of it. It's actually so fucking into like more complicated than it used to be now.
Yeah,
but
I just remember cheating by turning my phone time off.
Yeah, I used to do that, dude. They fucking patched it, so you have to like buy Nuka-Cola bottles now to speed up shit.
Oh god.
But I played it on launch. On launch, you could just click fast forward. Like it was an option. You could just press a button to like 2x time. It was fine.
I did not know that.
But like now you have to pay for Nuka-Cola bottles. But either way, I am probably spent about $100 in that game. It's bad, but it's very.
You know what? If you get that much, the way that I see it, and I probably talked about this on this show before, like the way I value my time is like, does it cost about the same in terms of like entertainment? Obviously,
yeah.
A movie is like what $10-15 to go watch for 90 minutes. A AAA release game is like 9 to 10 hours of gameplay, maybe 8 or 9 if you don't play the multiplayer, which I never do. Yeah. So am I going to get at least like $10 an hour of enjoyment out of it? Because that's kind of what it all averages out to. If it exceeds $10 an hour, if you've got more than like 10 hours of enjoyment out of fucking Fallout Shelter, who am I going to tell you you're wasting your money?
Yeah, no, I agree. I did feel like a fucking schizophrenic though. I was like lying in bed and I was like watching Band of Brothers while playing it. So I had like my phone up and I was just like tap 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 and staring at like a battle scene, like tap 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 tap. I think I was like,
Nah.
this is like the worst dopamine rush ever.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, dude, my dopamine receptors are so fucking fried.
yeah,
It's a problem. It's like I've always avoided like reels and TikTok and just like scrolling news feeds and stuff like that. I don't want to say always. Like I did it when I was younger, but like now the dopamine feedback loop is so fucking real. You just start it and go like 3 hours later, you're like, oh wow, I've watched like 150 short clips about how to make a quinceanera really good or something. Um, and now like I find that I need that. I need like multiple devices to be able to function. Like
yeah.
I'm watching a movie and I get an urge in just the back of my head to check my phone, and I hate that. I'm all but off all social media. I'm all but off everything, but it still has its grimy little fucking Zuckerberg claws in me.
Dude, I'm like fully addicted to Twitter. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't like, I just can't let go of it. It's like my screen time is like literally like 8 hours of Twitter a day. I check it like in between doing shit, just
Yeah,
refresh, scroll,
your
scroll,
fucking
refresh.
dopamine receptors are just gone. I've been on a kind of forced month off Instagram because as you know, we got not banned, we got glitched. Like it logged BR and I out of the account, and like neither of us could get back in. It would just give us like a I'm sorry, your request could not be completed at this time. I just fucking fixed it like a week ago, but the cumulative inability to like I've been avoiding going back on. So BR has been posting all of our updates from his computer because he managed to get back on in that. But the app's still fried for him. It's not fried for me, but I just have no desire to log back in, even though it is ostensibly my job.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's hilarious. Like,
yeah, I broke the addiction, and now it's like I gotta get back on there. I gotta interact with people. I gotta post promos and shit. But at this point, like I'd rather eat a bullet. But I will.
yeah.
I have to.
But going back to Fallout,
Yes, Fallout show.
Fallout, what is I think it's really fucking good. Listen, I'm massively biased because it has Walton Goggins, and I will watch anything with Walton Goggins. I
Oh,
love
I
that
like him.
man. He fucking steals every fucking show and movie he's in. He's great.
Yeah.
He's a ghoul in it, and he's fucking brilliant. Um, it was yeah, it was pretty good. I really liked it. My girlfriend watched it too, and she like so like she has like never like really played any Fallout shit. She doesn't know much about it, but even she really liked it. So I've seen enough debate about it on like social media for people to be like diehard Fallout fans being like the show is absolutely fine. Like there's no it didn't like
Yeah,
like,
I
so
waited to see like, hey, is it going to be like super like preachy Amazon trash? And I only started to see that a couple weeks after it came out, and I feel like that if it's bad, I will hear about it immediately. If it's
yeah,
not
that's
bad,
it. Yeah, like
yeah,
there's always gonna be people that like find something woke in a show to freak out about. But like if the initial response from like people that are fans are like, oh yeah, this is fine, then I'm like, yeah, it's probably good then.
yeah, it's like Jacob from AWS texted me to talk about how good it is, and I trust him, and you did as well, and a couple other people who I like innately trust the opinions of all said good things about it. So I'm inclined to I'm going to watch it. I just have to do more work.
I feel like they got the
Um,
aesthetic really, really down well. Like it
yeah,
like visually looks very Fallout. Like like
yeah,
often when they do adaptations of shit, like say for instance like the Vault Dweller suits, they could have made those like cool looking
like
fucking like tons of
Marveled it.
Marvel
Marvel
side.
side.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and they didn't really like they're still the bright blue and bright yellow. Like it's still
yeah.
pretty
It's
dead
it's a
on for
jumpsuit.
what it is.
Like it,
Yeah,
the lore established it very early. From all the promotional stuff I saw, it all looks like the shit from the game, just made
hmm.
real. So I actually really appreciate that. And
Yeah,
I saw some person complaining that the vault suit wasn't like a skin tight,
yeah, that
like
was dumb as shit. Like I don't think
yeah,
I know in the like artwork from the very first games it looks kind of tight, but like since like 3 on, it's been a very obvious jumpsuit.
yeah, which makes sense also for the lore. So like you're not walking around the wastelands wearing skin tight PVC, or are you? I don't know. Fucking you do you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. I thought it was good. Kyle MacLachlan is in it. He's great. I love Kyle MacLachlan. He was very good. There was like no one whose like performance like I could point to as being bad. There was one, again, spoilers. If you haven't seen Fallout, this is I think from the first or second
I
episode.
have not seen Fallout, but
It's,
I'll give you this
you
one. You
won't
can
give
spoil
this
it
is
for
not
me.
like a straight up spoiler. You won't give it's not a plot line thing. You won't give a shit. I guarantee. It's a like I guess a cameo again.
Yeah.
There's a person in a the power armor who's kind of like a dickhead throughout it, and then they get violently fucked up. And when they remove the helmet, it's fucking Michael Rappaport, um, which like, made me laugh a lot because Rappaport is like very heavily hated on online. He's kind of insufferable cunt.
Yeah.
Um, you'll recognize Rappaport as this guy. Hold on,
I'm looking him up, and yeah, he's that guy. He's in fucking everything.
the Jewish wigger from New York who like constantly
Yeah.
like thinks he's cool with the rap scene and is like annoying as fucking everything.
Yeah,
he's in.
he's typecast because he's got a punchable face.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So they pull off the helmet and it's him, and he's like fucked up. And I was like, yeah, kill Mike Rappaport, let's go.
Ah,
Um,
no, don't spoil if he dies. I am going to watch this show. Part of me is like, this is how little time I have. I started one episode of Shogun, I want to say a
Dude,
month ago, which
so
it looks amazing. But I got halfway through the episode, I got busy, and that busyness has not stopped
dude, the
since.
best description I've seen of what's his name, Cosmo Jarvis's performance is like there was something like in the credits. This should be Cosmo Jarvis as the engine as Tom Hardy. Like it was like he's
I
playing
have
the
no
role.
idea who
Like,
Cosmo Jarvis is.
he's like the white dude in it. Like
Ah,
he's the only white guy in the show, and like he is so fucking funny, dude. Like there's a scene where like he's trying to like get attention away from them from like these like opposing forces, finding out they're sneaking someone out of the village, and they're going through like they used to carry like royalty in like those boxes back then. They put them in
yeah.
like a wooden box thing. And like they're going through it, he's like going like they're going to find them. What do we do? And then the translator girl's like, say nothing, keep your head down, like you have to be polite and shit and all. And he just like goes, I'm doing something, and he's like walks forward up to like the main dude and just goes, bearing into ladies' private quarters, it's not proper. And he just starts like losing it. It's so funny. His voice in it is fucking hilarious. He's doing the guy from the you remember the what is my crime, sir? Eating a succulent Chinese meal? That like old viral video of the old
Yes,
dude getting arrested. It's literally doing that voice, and it is the funniest fucking thing. It is such a good show.
dude, I only saw that video of like the succulent Chinese meal. Get your hands off my penis. I only saw that like
I
what's
see you
that
know
one
your
with the
judo, good sir.
first viral videos ever.
It's so that dude is so funny. It's actually
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. But yeah, he just does it like that throughout the whole show, and it's fucking amazing. I love it.
Yeah. I saw an interview with him fairly recently. It's like, was that cop actually touching your penis? No, but I thought it was funny, so I figured I'd make a scene, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, that dude fucking ruled.
Yeah.
Speaking of other good shows, X-Men 97, the animated continuation of the 1997 X-Men cartoon, is fucking fire.
Fucking what?
Dude,
Didn't even
they
know
literally are continuing the 1997 X-Men cartoon, and it is so good.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, it's really fucking good. And I found out that the guy that voices Wolverine is Irish, like fully Irish. His name is Cal Dodd, and he's the guy that voiced him in 1997, and he's voicing him again now, even though he kind of sounds like a pirate now.
Ah,
He's like sees Wolverine and like Jean Grey, and he's like, I don't know, Jean. It doesn't seem right to me. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's falling apart. But it's
I mean,
great.
he's like 100 now.
Yeah, he's like 200 fucking years old, so like it makes sense. But it's a good show. I highly suggest. Magneto, it looks like for some reason they decided that Magneto, the Holocaust survivor, should be like hot as fuck in it. And like he's just like a sexy, like white haired, ripped fucking Jewish Holocaust survivor. But
Fan
it's great.
service.
Yeah, it's really good. Highly suggest.
Got to get the Tumblr points somehow.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, that is not a recommendation I expected from you. But yeah,
So like, I'm a big X-Men fan. I've always been a fan
yes.
of X-Men.
No, you have
I've always,
like since I met you.
yeah, I've always liked the comics and shit like that. When I was younger, obviously, I loved the TV show. But it like when I heard they were doing a continuation, I was like, this is gonna suck ass. This is gonna be terrible. And then it came out, and I was like, I'll watch the first episode, and I was like, holy shit, this is actually good. And the latest episode was insane. Like it's genuinely really fucking well done. It's probably one of the few things I've seen that genuinely pays a ton of respect to the original source material. Like they very, very clearly are like taking
Yeah.
notes on what the original show did and how it like laid stuff out. It's also going through plot points at like a breakneck pace, which the original show did too, and it's working really well.
Yeah.
Highly suggest.
No, I may actually give that a watch eventually. Probably when I'm like 40. Probably when things act. I innately, you are one of the people I go to for content recommendations because you haven't missed yet.
I'm just
Um,
autistic, and I have a very specific like type of shit I like,
yeah.
and but I also don't go like overboard with it. Where like I refuse to watch a show if there's like black people in it or something. I don't care. Like I have friends like that they're like, is it woke? I'm like, by that do you mean do black people exist in that universe? Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're like, I'm
Is
not
there a
watching
woman?
it. Yeah, is there a woman? Yeah, there's a woman.
Yeah.
I'm not watching. Like, all right, cool.
Um, so you know what I really like doing? This is just like a real shit disturber habit of mine that I probably shouldn't do, but I really like gaslighting people into watching movies that they probably won't like.
I do like doing
Like,
that too. Yeah.
yeah, like hey, we're going to watch a fun romantic comedy. Like it's got some science fiction elements. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal and so, and putting on like Terrifier 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I love doing shit like that.
Yeah, just like the most violent, depraved movies I can think of. Sorry, you're saying?
I found that I'm really bad though at like describing the films I like to normies. Like I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, we're going to watch Starship Troopers. I think you'll like it. She's like, what's it about? And I'm like, it's about people in the future fighting space bugs. She's like, I'm going to hate this. And I was like, no, you're not. And then we watched it. She was like, that was awesome. And like 2 weeks later, she's like, I can't stop thinking about that movie. I was like, yeah, it fucking rules. Like,
Yeah, Starship Troopers fucking rules.
but I'm like, I'm really bad at describing to normies why it's good.
Yeah, I'm doing my part. That's kind of the thing though, and part of why I like cold introducing people to a lot of movies. In a not trolling way, sometimes in a trolling way. The whole thing is like some of the best movies out there you can't really sum up in a sense.
Yeah.
You read the synopsis about what makes it good and it makes it sound like dog shit. Like Starship Troopers is one of those things. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
actually, the film we both saw, that fucking ripped Monkey Man.
Monkey Man was good. I really enjoyed it.
That might be my
seeing
favorite
Dev-
film this year.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's not. I mean, I've only seen. I want to say 3 movies in theaters this year. That would be The Beekeeper, Monkey Man, and Civil War. And I actually liked all 3 of them.
You saw The Beekeeper in theaters? That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, have you seen it?
Yeah, I fucking loved it. It was so
yeah,
good.
that was a fantastic movie.
My favorite part of that movie was like like Jason Statham playing this oh, I'm the beekeeper, right? And then he kept making bee puns where he was like, the hive has to be maintained and like shit like this. And then like there's this organization of beekeepers, and I was like, oh, okay, so they're like, that's like their thing, is they refer to something like bee terms. And then you meet other beekeepers, and no one else does that. No one else refers to things by bee terms except for Jason Statham. He's like the one autistic beekeeper that is obsessed with bees and actually keeps bees. And the others are like, no, dude, it's just a fucking name. We don't fucking do that shit. And he's like, I've got to protect the hive. And you're like, all right.
Like, no one else does it. When the second beekeeper showed up, mild spoiler, this happens like not very far into the movie, so I don't feel like it's a spoiler. So, because the movie plays itself very seriously up until about this point. So, the general plot of the movie is like he's a retired like quasi assassin for the government that basically keeps the world in order. And a scammer, like one of those pig butchering scammers, like kind of like that. Scams his mentor, and she kills herself. Like basically the person who's showing him kindness and letting him stay. I don't want to say mentor. Mentor's a bad word.
It's like she's some like old lady let him keep bees on her fucking farm, and then like they this like the fucking rich crypto scammer kid like does her edible
played by that fucking PETA from Hunger Games.
Josh Hutcherson, who I actually love. He's fucking great.
Yeah, Future Men's like one of the best shows ever.
Then Jason Statham is like, the queen has died, I have to get revenge, and it just goes on like a fucking like massive kill spree. It's sick.
Yeah. Initially I thought it would just be like dog shit because he's kind of typecast for like shitty action movie, like The Mechanic and whatnot. Yeah, and I expected it to be like brain rot.
Like he always gives 110% in these dog shit movies. Like he
does.
He really elevates it by just being utterly committed to the role.
Yeah, and I thought it would be that, and it ended up being that but good. Like
Yeah.
it was a formula movie, but the moment where I realized like, oh, this is going off the fucking wall, this movie knows what it is and it's going to be incredible, was when the second beekeeper turned up and was
Yeah.
like, she was dressed like a punk rock villain from the 80s with a
Yeah.
minigun in the back of her car, and like the movie was ostensibly somewhat serious until that point, and then he just wrecks her like it's a boss fight, and he just John Wicks her in like 30 seconds, beats her to death with a rock or something, I can't remember.
Like the moment that I realized it was going to be good was when the first like batch of assassins come to kill him, and usually in a lot of mainstream action movies now, you don't really get to see any actual violence. Like you might punch him a few times, and then like like something is done off screen, but he
Yeah.
like fully cuts a dude's fingers off with a bandsaw and then like hangs him with a chain. And I was like, oh, let's go.
Oh yeah,
This is sick.
let's fucking go. This is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to like credit John Wick for this, and like going back
I
further,
think you
Gareth
can
Evans
to a
the
degree,
Raid.
though. I think you're right. I think that, like, definitely, I think John Wick showed that, like, audiences are still willing to watch violent, like action.
Yeah, good violent action, and like there is, it is work and hard work to choreograph violence in a way that isn't
I'll
lazy.
give someone else credit too. I think that essentially they showed that R-rated action movies can still be profitable, and I think
Yeah.
that Deadpool is responsible for that.
You know what? I would give Deadpool a bit of credit.
It was like one
Yeah,
of the
and
first
fucking
R-rated
Disney
action
just made it
movies
back
in
then.
a long time that like made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, and it was made in a like nothing budget. So was the first
Yeah,
John Wick. I think they were both like 10 to 14
super low
million
budget.
dollars or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So like, yeah, no, it's watch The Beekeeper. It's fun as fuck. But
Yeah.
Monkey Man fucking ruled.
Yeah, Monkey Man was good. I found it dragged a little bit.
I guess I
I'm
know it's
not
not your
familiar
fault.
enough with like Indian policies. I'm not going to like. I know people are going to be listen to this and be like, "Oh, the woke stuff." There's fucking trans people, and it's like the that Indian thing of the whatever those people were like goes way back, like thousands of years.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna
I
say
don't
like they
fucking
also
know.
never like really refer to them as like specifically trans people, or there's not like a
Yeah,
big deal made about
it's
it.
like a
It's kind
whole
of-
sect of people, and I
yeah,
don't get it. But I also don't know Indian culture at fucking all.
it also like to a degree like it could have been any persecuted group. You know, like
Yeah,
it wasn't like that was a key part of their persecution or whatever. It was like it
yeah,
could have been literally any persecuted group in India.
yeah,
But I know the point you're talking about. It does drag definitely from when he falls into the river to when like he goes back to like the hotel or whatever. That point definitely drags a little bit.
yeah.
But I thought it was cool. I still liked it. It still has some of the best fight scenes I've seen in a mainstream movie in years.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's his first movie. It's
dude,
it's his first movie he's directed.
Dev Patel wrote, directed, produced, and starred in this movie. He
Yeah,
broke his left hand and foot like 3 days into filming, and they lost funding like a few weeks in, and they were literally gluing sets back together in order to redo stunts and fight scenes, and they were shooting shit on iPhones because they didn't have access to cameras at the time. Like
yeah,
he kept shit going, like it was, and it was meant to go direct to Netflix, and then Jordan Peele saw it and convinced Paramount to buy it.
yeah. I'm sad it's not doing super well in theaters because like I like I like movies made like that, like not a ton of money, kept together with fucking spit and bubble gum,
Yeah,
that look amazing because it looked fucking amazing. The fight scene with the axe in the brothel, holy
dude, that
shit,
was so good.
that was
That
so good.
he literally like bites a dude's nose off and then like cuts his head open with fucking handcuffs. It's insanely cool.
It is so well done, and that scene at the I not really a spoiler, but whatever. That scene kind of near the end where he comes out of the elevator and it's just a complete mirror to John Wick 2.
Yeah,
Like 100% that's just a reference. Like it was a
absolutely,
love
100%.
letter.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely tell that like I think they were even like pitching at the studios as like John Wick in India. Like
Yeah.
they 100% knew what they were doing.
There's a
Like,
direct reference. He goes to the gun dealer and the guy's like
yeah, he says
TTI
that.
Glock 34. It's from John Wick. It's $5,000.
Yeah, yeah,
Or some
straight
shit
up,
like that.
like I think like Dev Patel like wearing a black suit like near the end of it, everything like they knew exactly what they were doing, but it was fucking sick. I really loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it was really, really well done, and I really like seeing like small directors. That being said, yeah, I know that it's like an Indian political, a bunch of cultural and political references. They all went over my head. I don't know what the fuck,
Same. I didn't
but
know.
that's okay. I still enjoyed watching Dev Patel just like absolutely wreck a bunch of dudes with. I enjoyed also the fact it wasn't really a gunplay movie because that doesn't really make any sense. From like the kid from Slumdog Millionaire is all grown up now and he knows how to shoot guns for some reason.
Yeah, like I was saying that to my girlfriend. I was like, she loved it, and I was like, if you like that, you probably like The Man from Nowhere, because that's
I
also like
liked that.
a movie, a similar movie set in a place that doesn't have like readily available guns. So
Yeah,
like it becomes more like, you know, physical fighting and shit. I
yeah.
showed her The
It's like
Raid as well. She fucking loved that shit.
yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed like he had to use his brain quite a bit. Like
Yeah,
the makeshift weapons and just kind of the environmental violence was really fucking cool. This has just turned into fucking like this movie's a really
yeah. This
cool
movie
podcast.
podcast we're doing now
Yeah,
apparently.
normally we do our requisite like 20 minutes, but still, it is a really good movie, and I really recommend it. Same with
Yeah,
like, I've been on a kick of just good movies, like The Beekeeper, really fucking good.
yeah.
Monkey Man, really good. Civil War, really good if you like A24 movies and you know what you're getting into. It's probably my favorite of the three, but again, you have to know what you're getting into.
There's a new M Night Shyamalan movie. It looks like it's going to be fire.
Tell me,
I will
I
always
did.
defend Shyamalan. I think his shit is good. Um,
Uh, I the way I feel about Shyamalan is like he'll make one movie that's an absolute fucking banger. It's amazing.
yeah,
Then he'll make a movie that's dog shit, and
yeah.
then he'll make another banger, and then he'll make a dog shit movie. And like for
I
whatever
think he's
reason,
on
that's been his
banger
pattern.
art at the moment. Again, this one is called Trap, and this isn't the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler by any means. Like this is like literally in the trailer, right? The gist of
Yeah,
it is Josh Hartnett is the star, and he's going to what is essentially a Taylor Swift style concert with his daughter, and they're at the concert and all, and then like he goes out to the bathroom and he notices like tons of police like outside, so he goes up to like a guy working there and he's like, hey, what's going on with all like the cops and everything? Is everything okay? And the guy is like, yeah, like I'm not meant to tell people this, but like basically he goes, you know that like serial killer has been going around, the butcher? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, they think he's going to be here tonight. They got some intel he's going to be around. So they've set up, because this whole concert is a trap for the guy. They're checking everyone going in and out. They're going to find him tonight. And your
yeah.
man's like, holy shit. Like he goes to the bathroom and he takes out his phone and he types in like a passcode, and it's like a security camera thing. And there's like a video of a guy like chained up in his basement, and he's the fucking killer.
I was about to. I was actually about to make that guess because it's like, oh, it's M Night Shyamalan. That's going to be the twist. But
Yeah.
apparently, the twist was in the beginning. Maybe
Yeah. So
there's going to be a
it's
second
like,
twist
oh,
because
it's
M
in
Night
the trailer. There's
Shyamalan.
going to be a second twist. What's the second
Yeah,
twist going to be? You know?
yeah.
So I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. And I love Josh Hartnett.
I really like Josh Hartnett. Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be good. And I don't know what M Night Shyamalan's last movie was. If it's dog shit, this one's going to be good. That's the rule.
Knock at the Cabin in the Woods, which
I was actually really good, so this movie's probably going to
yeah,
be good.
I really
I'm still going to
like
watch it though.
Cabin in the Woods. That was sick.
Yeah.
You might be doing a banger arc. We don't know. Maybe this next year was
Yeah.
one.
In all seriousness, this is not actually a rule. He just has good movies and bad movies
Yeah.
like anyone else. But that sounds good. Knock at the Cabin in the Woods was really good, and I think the one he made before that was really good, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I'm a general fan. So
Yeah.
let's move off movies. We've done a little bit movies for the past.
Yeah, we
30
could talk
minutes,
about
so,
movies for genuinely like a long fucking time.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
We had some like other topics and shit written down. World War III was one of them.
Yeah, fuck. I woke up to like because again I'm really off social media. I'm really off. Basically, the only way I get news anymore is our fucking Discord.
Yeah.
I woke up to oh no, World War III is happening. Iran is doing a thing, and I guess nothing really came of that, or
I've
maybe
become that
there is.
fucking meme of like the nothing ever happens guy, where like every time I have a friend that will like message me this shit like, oh fuck, like on like Snapchat, they'll send me like, a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff about it, and I'm always like, it'll like no, I don't know, like nothing is probably going to happen. Like I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, it'll all be the same. And
Yeah,
like so far that has proven true.
Yeah.
Like obviously I'll be wrong at some point and it'll be the end of the world, but like so far it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, like every time someone tells me there's some major conflict happening or whatever, it's like it doesn't really change anything.
yeah. No, eventually Jesse Plemons is going to be out in the street, just like murdering people indiscriminately and asking what kind of American you are. But until that point, it's like I'm not going to stress every time insert geopolitical event happens. Except
Yeah.
one person I'm really excited about is Barbecue. I want to get him on the show. If somehow someone knows the cannibal leader of
Cannibal
Haiti,
leader.
if someone has a fucking a line to Barbecue, let us know and we'll have him on the show. That'd be pretty
The
great.
worrying thing is that like literally anyone could pretend to be him and we would have no way of knowing it's not him. Like we like have no
We'll
ability.
ask him a lot of complicated questions about like what human flesh tastes like.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that would be sick. The Haiti shit was fucking wild. The cannibals eating
It
people's
was. We
penises and shit.
recorded a whole bit on it, and then
Yeah,
the episode disappeared because Zencaster's dog shit. And
I
this
can't find
this
the
happens like
fucking.
once or twice a year. We'll
I
just
showed you
lose
guys
an
a Twitter
entire
video
episode.
of a guy eating a dude's penis in the street, and I can't find the video anymore.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember sending that to a bunch of people. Didn't we put it in the Discord? I can't
I think
remember.
we did. I'm sure we went back far enough I could find it.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, no,
yeah, it was
there was just
interesting.
like, and he was alive. He's getting
Yeah,
his dick eaten, not in the good way, like you want.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that actually made me very uncomfortable. But I wonder what's
Yeah.
going on in Haiti right now. That
Um,
probably.
leading into that as well, into World War Three, fucking recession.
Oh yeah, no. You mentioned there's like a lot of layoffs, and the way that I can tell that we're heading into a hardcore recession is one, like every major tech company, every studio, so and so is like laying
Yeah,
people off like mad. You see companies that are primarily like big tech, so and so. If it's not
yeah,
military industrial complex, they're cutting fat hard. The military industrial complex will always be doing well as long as Iran's around to fucking send drones at Israel or whatever. Yeah, also like the major tech exodus to India, which I find awful. I fucking hate it.
yeah. Like literally every like person I know that works. I know a few people that work at tech companies that kind of like tell me insider shit every now and then, and like literally all of them are like, yeah, everyone's being replaced with fucking like Indians and shit, and
Yeah,
it seems to be um like extremely common these days to just like straight up replace like entire workforces with like outsourced Indian workers, which is like not good.
yeah, no, not at all. It's oh my god. My friend's trying to rent a place back where I'm from, and he mentioned he posted his apartment, and he's got about 100 replies from Indian dudes and no one else.
Yeah, dude. So
This would be
like
East
actually
Coast
speaking of
Canada.
this, I saw a post
Yeah,
on the I think the Toronto what's called a like subreddit
yeah,
of people talking about the what it's like the renting thing is like over there. And one guy was like, my friend's trying to find an apartment. Literally every like landlord they talked to was like an Indian subletting the apartment. He went to see one and they were like, yeah, I only want to rent this room to like a minimum of like 6 people. So unless you can find another 5 people, you can't have it. And it was
that's fucking
like
wild.
a singular room, um
Yeah,
like
all the cities in Canada and in the states soon, coming to a city near you, are just like slumlords.
yeah.
I see ads being like, yeah, hallway, we will only rent to an Indian, and which is weird. It's kind of weird that they can get away with that. It's a hallway and it's $600 a month. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
wow, that's fucking wild. My friend Hillary, when she moved back from Japan, she asked, this is like COVID times when travel was kind of hard. She asked me to go around and take a look in some buildings, and she asked me basically to like do a walk around of apartments and send videos back to her. And there were buildings that were just like entirely Indian dudes and women too that were stacked up like 7 or 8 people in an apartment. It was fucking wild. And this was like 2020, 2021.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. Like
Yeah.
it seems to be like a major problem.
Yeah,
Um,
this isn't like Indian people hate podcasts. This is like, wow, there's a severe infrastructure problem, and like the
yeah, like
wrong
the
people.
argument I always make for this shit is like I never blame like the people coming over.
Yeah,
This was the thing in
I feel
Ireland
like
as
they're
well. Where,
misled.
yeah, like this is the thing in Ireland as well that people were talking about. Like we had a lot of Ukrainian refugees coming over. The exact same situation. Like coming over, they were getting given like I was like. So our government told them, yeah, you can come over, you get free accommodation. We give you $2,500 tax free in your bank account every month. You get like rent subsidies if you apply for rent somewhere. We'll have you like get a job. And I was like, dude, if California tomorrow said everyone from Ireland gets that same shit, I'd be on the next plane. Like I'd
Yeah,
just be like, yeah, no problem. Like I don't blame them for coming over. That's totally like it just makes total sense for them.
yeah, it's an
I,
opportunity.
yeah, it's a major opportunity. I just don't understand why governments are like pushing this shit like to such
Yeah,
a degree and allowing this. It's like
all of the answers to that are really tinfoil hatty for me, and I don't want to repeat
yeah,
them here because I will end
same.
up getting like killed or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
same here. Yeah,
The best and most awful answer that I have is they just fucking hate us.
yeah.
but I'm sure that there's some nefarious purpose, which is like
I'm sure a lot of it
what's
comes back to financial motivation
exactly.
plus like a voting motivation where they're like, well, if we give them good shit, they'll vote for us, so let them in.
Yeah,
Uh,
that and like in Canada, I don't know how it is in Ireland. The big sell is real estate, and you get all these people coming in, and you're flooding the market for cheap labor for companies that basically be able to hire people for poverty wages, and they're living in 8 people to a an apartment. So you've created a rental and housing crisis. Like there's a lot of money in doing that artificially, and I feel like that's a lot of what's going on in Canada. Like America's got the military industrial complex and tech, and export, and the biggest consumers in Canada. The big industry is fucking real estate, and I feel like that's a way to artificially prevent a collapse or to artificially keep the prices really really high.
yeah.
Yeah, I bought my house there in like 2016, I want to say, and it has quadrupled in value. It's and I do think I would gladly not have it worth more if my old country didn't go to absolute dog shit. But I think it's artificial. I'm not going to go on more of a tinfoil rant than I already have. Fuck that place.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like a major fucking issue like around the world. Like I think everyone I know in every country has complained about this. Um, but yeah, there's no point in getting into the tinfoil hat shit. Let's guys,
Yeah,
burn it in
just
the
like a
streets.
weird exodus from poor countries. I remember like talking to an Indian Uber driver a while ago, and he was talking about how like he and his family couldn't afford to live here, and I've got this corroborated by multiple other Indian dudes. It's like, yeah, your government, like the Canadian government, not my government anymore. Fuck you guys. The Canadian government subsidizes advertisements in India and basically says like, "Hey, come here. We have healthcare. We'll take care of you.
Yeah,
Like, come here and we'll give you subsidies. And we have all of this." It's like, why the fuck are you spending taxpayer dollars to advertise people coming? It's like one thing allowing immigrants or whatever, whatever, whatever. It's another thing to advertise to people to come. You're taking
yeah,
advantage of people, and like, why are you doing this? There are no good answers to that question. It's freaky. Sorry,
yeah.
continue.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Another thing you asked seriously was my general opinion on like fucking like Twitter and shit.
Yes,
I was going to ask why don't you talk a bit about what your newsfeed has become despite not using it?
I don't use Twitter at all. Genuinely, like every once in a while, you'll send me a link. Like you send me that link to that guy. Um, I'm pretty sure it's a Twitter link. The guy getting pranked, and the only reason I have Twitter is that, and also the guy who photoshops people to be black and Chinese. My Twitter feed is basically as free of the algorithm as it possibly can be, and I have my permissions set off, so supposedly it won't track my activity through other apps. Whatever. And my Twitter feed is like ostensibly very right wing now. Like
Yeah,
as soon as I made it, like as soon as it was basically blind. Like I made the account, I hadn't followed anyone. It was a brand new. The only person I follow now is a black and Chinese guy, Pilgrim.
yeah.
Um, I like how I'm playing with a gun. You just pull out a gun.
I was there.
Yeah, based. And yeah, no, it's all just like normie right wing propaganda, which like I'm
Yeah,
not complaining about. And every other one, it's like, oh fuck Trump, so and so.
yeah.
It's
That's the thing.
almost like the bright side is almost it's refreshing to see normie
Yeah,
bullshit from the other side.
yeah.
Um,
That's it. I can't really complain too much because like Twitter was definitely the other way before,
yes,
but
100%.
like there I also have been seeing like not even just like general like right wing stuff. I'm talking like full on schizo conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
Like just
actually,
like
like oh, the paint your house blue or they're going to laser and
yeah,
you'll be
like that
safe from the
sort of shit.
lasers. Yeah,
Or like someone just dies in like a normal way and they're like they were taken out because they were getting too close to the truth thing. I'm like, no, they just like
yeah,
died. They were sick for a long time. Like
yeah. They were like
there's like
80 years old and so and so. They didn't have proof about Epstein's Island or Clinton helping cover up the kids in the tracks murders,
yeah, like
which I
I remember
actually believe in. That is, I will put
yeah.
on a tinfoil hat for that.
Do you know that boxer Ryan Garcia?
Name sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my
So
head.
he's like a very successful boxer, but he's quite a young dude, and he like well he seems to have fully like lost his mind to a degree. He's fighting this weekend actually, but he's like
Yeah.
fully gone like insane. Like I don't just mean like regular conspiracy theory. I mean like the type that's like needs medication.
Have you
And
noticed that has happened to like a bunch of UFC fighters and boxers?
yeah, probably
I
like
wonder why.
CC.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, anyway, he's fucking fully lost it, right? And he was like, I was seeing like he went on like Twitter lives and shit like that or whatever on TikTok lives, and he was going on like a like rants about like the elites and like all sort and like I've been invited to these parties, bro, and like all sort of stuff. And there was like then threads being like Ryan Garcia like pulls back the curtain on these secret elite parties and what they made others do and all this sort of stuff and all. And I was like, even like I agree that the secret elite parties are true, right? I was
Oh,
like,
100%. Like
I just
that's not
don't
even.
think they're
Yeah.
sitting around being like, who we should call is that fucking TikTok boxer twink. Get him over here. He's we should definitely have him in the fucking like cabal. Like
In
Bill
the room
Clinton
while
being,
we touch kids and pull the adrenochrome out of them or something.
yeah, like I just don't
Um,
think Bill Clinton is like got him on speed dial, is inviting him to the fucking parties. Like I was
Yeah.
like, this is just a crazy person. Like I don't know why you would take this seriously at all.
Yeah.
Like it's confirmation bias. Like people correctly assume these parties and like all these this sort of underground shit exists. Like Bohemian Grove was real.
Yeah.
Like
I remember when that journalist group tried to discredit Bohemian Grove, and they actually came out like,
Alex Jones turned up and he's like, there they are. They literally were there.
and then they're actually there doing the Bohemian Grove stuff now. And now the overall thing is like, yeah, it's okay. The owl statue's just kind of for fun. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, it's the typical like it's not happening, then proof it's happening. Well, it's good that it's happening.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's
but,
so much of that shit.
Like those things happen, but I don't know why we're giving credence to like every random person that claims they were invited and were there. When I'm like, they definitely fucking were not.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would think they will be.
Yeah.
But that shit like is all over Twitter now. Like it's like again, as we said, like it's probably better than all the other platforms where the alternative is the exact opposite. But it's just wild how like you can just post slurs on there now. It's cool now. Like it's
based.
yeah. like I'm like, always like it's very funny to see like dudes like just like fully like dropping like hard R's and N's and F's and everything. Like
Yeah.
but usually that's reserved for our private Discord channels. But
oh man,
it's
yeah. I'm just sick of seeing Trump stuff, and somehow it's making its way.
I'm gonna say I just logged on Twitter. I'm gonna say an example of the first thing on my feed, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Loading my dog shit rural internet is just immediately
The first thing.
just immediately rape jokes. Yeah, you couldn't get away with this on old Twitter.
It's so weird. But I mean, yeah, I'm not entirely against it, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's what else is going on. So the what's got another thing we can talk about that's gotten really popular on Twitter is the crypto space is like blowing the fuck up.
Again, I feel like this happens every time there's like economic instability or war or something.
Yeah,
like
like
that.
it's down right now, but there's been a general trend of like real like resurgence in the popularity of crypto in the past while.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to pin Tren. Go buy Tren.
Go
You
buy
can
Tren.
You can literally buy it on the Coinbase wallet.
I buy it from that weird dude in the back of my gym. He's just wearing a black hoodie all the time. And he the syringes are free, thankfully.
My friend made a coin called Tren, and it has blown the fuck up. Like I put $100 in.
Jesus
pre-sale.
Christ! Have you turned into a crypto bro again?
Yes, I bought $100 pre-sales that were worth over $1,000. At one point, it was worth $3.5.
That's
like,
awesome.
It is wild, but it's the funniest story, right? Because basically the story is me, my buddy Simon, and another lad. This guy, a friend of ours, is like, I got a really good lead on like a crypto that's going to do well, and we were kind of just mildly interested in it. Like we were not regularly investing at all, but he was like, I think it's going to do really well. You guys should get in. So we're like, all right, fine. So we do, and we both immediately lost like $300, and we were like, "This is your fault." Right? So he was like, "I don't know what happened. I'm sorry," and like all this sort of shit. Right? So we're like, "Fuck's sake!" Simon was so pissed about this that he went, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go make my own." And in a week, he, knowing nothing about crypto, launched an entire new coin called Tren with the liquidity pool locked. So he can't even. He raised like $100,000 and then put it into the coin. He can't take it out if he wanted it to. Like he's like, I literally don't know how. And it's him and like a bunch of other dudes, and it's like massively like popular now. It's doing really well.
That's hilarious. I might throw $10 in to see if this fly by night scam actually works. But
because it's based on nothing. They're like there's no like fucking like like people trying, oh, this is for some fucking like technology. They're like, no, it's just Tren, buy Tren. And
Yeah,
like they're doing a competition right now to win a million trend, where the person with the best physique gets the million trend. You have to post physique photos.
that's so fucking funny.
Like you can literally buy it in Coinbase right now. Like they
Yeah,
actually managed to get it listed in the on Coinbase. It's on like Phantom Wallet, it's on a bunch of shit. Like they've actually done a genuinely really fucking good job at this. And they are fully dedicated. Where like literally no one has sold any of it. Like of their like none of the devs have sold anything. I'm still holding. I have close to a million trend. I'm
whole
still holding.
holy shit. Yeah, no, that's actually really fucking funny.
But yeah, so buy trend, but steering well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
do
whole
not
market is
endorse
down.
this in any way, and probably will not. But
I'm still
that
in the
that is
coin.
really
Fuck
funny.
you. Buy trend. The whole market is down right now.
Yeah,
Like literally everything is like dipped. So
admittedly, like now is probably the time to get stuff out of the U.S. dollar and
yeah,
Canadian dollar and
I
whatever
don't.
else.
I'll be honest. I don't really understand why the like crypto market goes down when world events happen, because I don't think it's like I see no direct correlation there, but it does. So
Yeah,
literally, like everything crashed with the whole Iran shit kicked off there recently.
yeah.
So if you're going to buy any crypto, it's probably a good entry point now. Is to just
Yeah,
to get
probably people
the
panic
most
selling
instance.
because like to a lot of people, crypto's a hobby as opposed to like oh shit, let's keep all my liquidity in here.
Yeah, no,
So
don't do
all the
that.
people being like, oh shit, it's World War III, infrastructure problems, so and so, maybe make myself more liquid again would probably pull things out. This is just me like spitballing
Yeah,
because
no, that's pretty fair.
I remember I got into a little bit of trading with you actually when 2020 happened, and I made a small bit of money that I immediately put in like gun stuff, like a new
Yeah,
optic and things like that. Mostly, I just wanted to see more rich people
Tickle.
themselves on the live television.
yeah. The only trades I've ever been successful on were GameStop and now Tran. Really, that's basically
Yeah,
it. Like others I made some on, but nothing major. But
did you send me
like
a video of a dog trying to rape a dude?
yeah, it's on a Chinese game show or Japanese game show. They just covered a dude in what appears to be cream, and there is a dog humping him viciously. This is
That
what's happening on Japanese TV.
yeah, Japan doesn't give a fuck.
Irish TV was on one of our morning talk shows. They brought on a guy who is a leprechaun whisperer, and he talks about the secret of speaking to leprechauns. Uh, this is on our daytime TV. I'll post that too in our chat.
Cable television's kind of gone to fuck. I mean, like it was always to fuck, but now they're getting desperate because it is a platform that is dying in real time that I'm surprised isn't already dead.
Yeah, I used to this with my girlfriend the other day. I was like, I exclusively watch shows on my media server, but I was like, the amount of like random TV shows that appear on the server that have like over 100 episodes that are on like CBS or something, and I'm like, I've never heard of in my entire life,
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah, I'm genuinely surprised it's still going. Okay, we're back. What were we talking about a second ago?
I can't remember, so let's go directly into questions we got from the Discord server.
One sec. I got this new kind of coffee. It's called Mud Water.
Yeah, I was like, what the
Um,
fuck is that you're drinking? It's like cum.
yeah, I saw you eyeing it, which is the only reason I brought it up. It's basically, and this I'm in no way or shape or form fucking sponsored by these people. They would hate it. I'm just going to actually just say like slurs right now. I don't know, like who do we hate? Italians, wop dago bastards, penis, insert rape joke. Yeah, no, it's like mushroom coffee. I do find it helps me
Oh,
like focus a little, and it's probably like less dog shit, aspartame, whatever the fuck is in energy drinks. I actually like it a little bit, but it is kind of spendy. I just
that's cool. I've
is it
had
like lion's mane and shit in it?
yeah, I've had mushroom coffee before. I like mushroom coffee.
Yeah, this one tastes a
Um,
little less like mushrooms, more like I don't know chai, but it still kind of tastes like dog shit. It's not good, but it is coffee
will
directly
do.
into my brain.
So someone asked in our Discord server, you have to make a militia to overthrow a third world government. How many child soldiers and from what country will you need to complete the mission?
That depends. Do I want hearts and minds? Do I want like this country to still have infrastructure afterwards? Because if not, sub-Saharan African, all of them with
Yeah, I was
AKs.
gonna say those dudes have experience. They're veterans. By like
Mm.
12, they're a veteran.
Yeah, they're veterans. They can't read, they can't write, they can't feel empathy, and they will just snort coke mixed with gunpowder and kill everyone.
Yeah. If I can get some of those little cartel children, the ones that the cartel kidnap and then they like train them up, whatever. If I can get one with like 2 years training on him, so he's probably like 13, those dudes are pretty fucking. handy, and
Yeah,
they're like
you'd probably get those guys to organize because, like,
they're like
are we doing a
operators.
full child army? Is this going to be like I don't know? Is this going to be like a Metal Gear Solid situation?
I don't know, but like yeah, I suppose it depends on the parameters. But I feel like if you're just going for decimation, Africa is your best bet, and then if you want like operational efficiency, probably like the cartel kids from like El
Cartel
Salvador.
kids are like Eastern Europeans, like some of those countries that are still
Yeah, if you got
war
some
torn.
young Eastern Europeans and trained the fuck out of them, they would be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it's like what was that Punisher Max comic with the Moldovan
Yeah,
crime, the Moldovan PMC gone crime family.
that was really good.
That actually has a bunch of real world parallels. That being said, Moldova is like a full ass developed country now. So
Yeah.
I dated a
Do
girl
you
from
think
Moldova
AI
once. Pretty
art
badly.
presents a real threat to actual artists in your line of work?
Yeah, it already has. I see companies
Really?
like what like this goes two ways, and like whenever I say like yeah AI exists, I get a lot of people being like, oh, you support it. It's like, no, I don't. It's just like I support it in the way I'd support like a drill or a hammer or something like that. It's like it's a
Cool.
tool. It's around now. The only way to get rid of it, and you see people saying like, well, we unilaterally have to reject it. It's like good luck getting humanity to unilaterally do fucking anything. um
Yeah.
I've seen kind of in real time, you see AI art posted somewhere and people be like, oh, this is dog shit, like fuck AI, so and so. And it's kind of turned like the dialogue towards that is turning towards, wow, like get a fucking life. It's AI, who cares? And the more that happens, interestingly, Civil War, a bunch of the posters for that, the really cool looking ones,
Yeah,
those were
I
AI.
meant to bring that up. Yeah,
Yeah.
they made a bunch of AI art.
Yeah, and like you're seeing in movies too, and the better AI gets, the sooner or later you're not going to be able to tell. And like I'm not going to blame A24 for this. They probably hired a marketing studio. They hired out. But if it wasn't for really small things in it or idiosyncrasies that most people aren't going to notice, you'd never be able to tell. And this is AI now. What's this going to be like in a year? We in the amount of time we've since we started talking about AI, um, it has come leaps and bounds, leaps and bounds.
Yeah,
Weirdly,
dude,
I do think they're nerfing it on purpose. Like you know how
they
AI
are.
has a look,
Yeah,
that's on
so
purpose.
yeah, it's the same with like ChatGPT is terrible now. Like I have to
Yeah,
argue with ChatGPT to get it to do what I want it to do now, whereas before it was like on command.
yeah.
Um,
I think it's being nerfed on purpose because of misuse. Which,
yeah,
interestingly enough, like you or I could install, and this is all open source. Like it's out there. No one can walk it back. We can outsource. We can install and run, and it's like 20 gigs. I did this on my laptop.
yeah,
Stable diffusion,
yeah.
and it does not work on my laptop because it turns out this thing doesn't have a graphics card. So
Nvidia has a new local LLM that you can download and just run off any Nvidia graphics card too.
yeah, that's actually really neat. And it's all open source. Like it's out there. The technology exists, and you're not going to fucking get rid of it. And it gets better every day. The fact that so many people are working on it at the same time. Um, I entirely downloaded it for the purpose of like taking everyone I knew and photoshopping them as black and Chinese. I think I only ended up doing Jared from Orion Training Group. Um, and it didn't even work through that. I had to use a different AI. But the fact that I could just do that from my desktop computer, like it's out there, guys. Like, and it is
Yeah.
affecting my job. It's affecting a lot of people's jobs. I'm lucky enough that I'm in a position where I still get a lot of work. That being said, I'm really worrying looking at my Instagram inbox as soon as I get back into it because it's probably going to be a bunch of that. If you guys need anything done, I don't know, message me on Discord or email or something.
Have you had companies directly be like, "Oh, we're just going to get AI to do it," or like a company you worked with previously
I've
switching to
seen
AI?
companies that formally hired me or are in the market of hiring me, and it's like some of them are just going to like Fiverr and hiring Indians. Not the people who've hired me. Most of the people who've hired me continue to come back, which is pretty nice. But I see other groups in this space either outright like stealing art, licensing it, hiring Indians, and which like all of these things existed before. You can always kind of tell because like the guns will be a little wrong or not quite thought out, or there's like hallmarks of it. And then recently, and I saw this at Shot Show, there was a guy, and he's like a cool guy. He's totally okay. But he owned a brand, and you could immediately look at it. It was a skeleton with fucking night vision and a helmet on. Of course it was. But you could tell the entire thing was generated with AI. You looked at it, it's like, none of this is right.
I feel
Like
like in your specific line of art field where a lot of his military focus, that's
yeah.
easier to spot than like generalized art because
Yeah,
like
because
that
like
yeah,
all
you'll
of that
notice like
stuff
specific
is
things about
correct or
films that
it's not.
yeah, like it's I think it's tough. I think when we're talking like for instance, if you say create a skull wearing nods with what's called an MP5 or whatever, like that's
Yeah.
going to be tougher. That's easier for it to fuck up than someone being like, do it, make me a painted, watercolor looking beach scene,
Yeah, 100%. Or like, hey, like a pretty anime girl with underboob or some shit like that. I feel
Yeah,
bad for those kinds of artists because they're I don't want to say they're obsolete, but that market's going to shrink hard.
yeah. Dude, we have a an AI bot in our server that can generate like NSFW images and does so pretty well.
Yeah, no, it's just like an unlocked. Does it? I haven't tried it. It's like Hyun GPT. I see people arguing with it all the time, which I find fucking hilarious.
It
Just
often
like
tells you
trying
to
to
fuck
make it
off,
racist.
which is
Huh?
hilarious.
Yeah, I think successfully they've got it to say a slur. It's very funny, but
Yeah, no, but what's we got another one here. What is the scariest place you've gone to take a piss?
that's hard. I don't know. It's like there was an old like Cold War era abandoned missile base I had to crawl through a window to get to in the middle of nowhere in Nova Scotia. The woods at night is always fucking horrible. Well, I've gotten into like my experiences in the woods at night before. I do not trust them. I do not go into the woods unarmed. It is bad. There are things in there that will kill you. I always feel anxiety just like walking into the woods to take a piss and go back. Just I don't know. Like I turn around and nothing's there, or it's just like a weird pale man is watching me from behind a tree, and then I disappear and into hell. I What about you?
I think like probably like I can think of like times I pissed like the woods and stuff like that that would be like technically scary, but I think for me it was probably like I wanted to piss like the side of the highway with like people, or like I actually had to piss near a building like late at night. I had to pull in somewhere and piss side of a building, and like a light turned on, like a floodlight, and I was like, "Oh my
You're like I'm
god!"
gonna
Like
die.
they're gonna find me with my cock
Yeah.
out. Like
No, it's
so, like
like you,
those
both
situations
hands off
probably.
your cock. You pull your gun out and you just start mag dumping towards the light.
Dick flailing in the wind, still pissing. Actually, I had buddies over the other day, and one of them was getting changed in another room, and these other guys arrived at the front door. So I was like talking to them, and like out of the corner of my eye, I see my friend doing something, and
Yeah.
then he just walks out of the other room fully naked, and I was like, "What's up, lads?" And I was like, "Jesus Christ!"
That's really
But
funny.
I was explaining this to my girlfriend the other day that I was like, I can't remember what
Yeah.
it was. There was in a TV show watching some dude was naked or something like that, and I was saying to her like, nearly 100% of the time that a dude is naked, it is never sexual. Like, is ever like sexy? It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny
I
or
was like,
it's used for actually to creep you out. Like
yeah, like
A24.
I was like the jackass.
Yeah.
Like that's just those dudes being naked 90% of
Yeah.
the time. I was like, and that's like it's when if it's not as you said in like a horror setting,
Yeah.
when you see that, it's inherently
Yeah.
funny. Like if you see a dude like an iPhone video of a dude running down the street in the middle of New York and he's just fully naked, that's hilarious. Like it's streakers on the field at football matches. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why.
You get into this whole pretentious thing about like male gaze and all the like, oh, it just shows it. But no, I don't give a fuck. It's funny.
That is inherently funny, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, speaking of like,
Yeah.
there's things like the military world. Someone goes, "You think KUSA went broke because of the whole porn star PR girl?"
Okay,
hire?"
so I'll take this one because I know you're kind of
I
not.
don't know. I actually think I kind of know this one, but I need your insight
So
on this.
KUSA, that's Kalishnikov USA. I didn't know they went broke. I'm just really far outside of that world. I guess the only Kalishnikov USA things that I've seen in the last little while have been like dog shit rebranded Turkish shotguns at gun shows. I don't know what they're up to at all. But so a couple years ago, and this was a big like, oh, welcome to 2020, fucking gun world internet drama. Who gives a shit? They hired a porn star named Bonnie Rotten. So she did like
I know Bonnie Rotten.
what?
I know Bonnie
Yeah,
Rotten, not from the core.
Well, she left porn, I think, to go be a gun bunny, essentially, and like she
I just kind of assumed she was dead, so I'm kind of glad to hear
yeah,
that.
I mean, like from what I heard, like her whole ass turned inside out or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
she what's prolapsed. Yes, there we go. I hope you're listening to this
Nice.
podcast with your significant other and or children. Um, but she disappeared from the porn world, reappeared in the competitive shooting world, and was basically like a spokeswoman for Kalishnikov USA. I feel like, and I'm not like puritanical Christian, whatever. Like I am a Christian, but I'm not going to be like, oh no, this person did porn. Um, Maybe we should light her on fire. Um, Mitch wanted to bring her on the show once, and we had a disagreement about that. I really didn't want to have a porn star on Art and War.
What fucking like possible benefit would that have
Yeah,
been?
no, and
Like,
like looking back, I'm kind of glad that I stuck with that. She ended up having a bunch of controversies, and like I don't know a lot about her as a person, but yeah, that ended up being this whole like culture war thing that
I was like, what the fuck are you going to talk
yeah
about? Like, what's it like having your asshole turn inside out? Like,
yeah. But that being said, looking back, in my opinion, from the outside, I don't think that probably had anything to do with KUSA going under. The kind of big thing is like most average people who just like buy a gun are not online. They probably don't know about Bonnie Rotten or give a fuck. Most of the people I know who bought Kalishnikov USA stuff is like, oh yeah, someone thought their carbine was cool. Most of the people I know who bought their stuff didn't give a fuck. Everyone else that I know who bought their stuff was like old and didn't care and just thought their shotguns were cool or whatever, or like were competitive shooters or something. The only people I think would care about this sort of thing are the people who are active inside like the Instagram gun space and all of that, which is a
mm,
very, very small proportion of shooters. What probably made them go under? I'm not going to point fingers. I have no idea how the inside of that company worked. Could have been inefficiency. Could be the fact that people like are buying guns a hell of a lot less post 2021, which kind of turned the industry on its head. A lot of companies over leveraged themselves and aren't doing super well after that. And we've had a couple of like CEOs on this show that said as much. It's like, yeah, the gun world's not doing fantastic after basically the massive rush in over COVID. Everyone restructured to basically keep up with that demand, and then the demand dropped to the levels that it was before COVID right afterwards. And now everyone's poorer slightly, so things are just like slightly worse than they were before. It could be a multitude of reasons. If I had to guess, because this is like completely uneducated, Bonnie Rotten has nothing to do with why Kalishnikov went under. Okay, your
yeah.
turn. You said you had a take.
I kind of briefly remember like hearing about this, and like I do think it was part of like a trend that it seems as kind of like they fell off of like gun companies like kind of like going for like a yeah beer and tits like sort of like marketing ploy and just hiring like random hot ladies that have nothing to do with the culture or know anything about it.
Yeah,
Um, Now that's being said, I don't. Maybe Bonnie Rotten knows a fuck ton about guns. I don't know, but like like that's just like that seemed to be a marketing
yeah.
trend for a
She
while.
she was shooting in
Um,
matches, which means she probably doesn't suck. I don't care enough to
okay,
watch. She probably sucks for a competitive shooter because I heard she wasn't very good. But if she's even shooting C class, she's better than the average fucking gun owner. It's not a high bar. But that being said, yeah, I think you're right. Um, I don't think it's a trend most companies are following anymore and haven't been for a while. It's like I think of all the companies that I know of that are doing well, like anything from agency to like Sons of Liberty Gunworks to like Palmetto State Armory or FN or SIG or whatever. It's like they generally don't. Okay, maybe SIG does. They generally don't use gun bunnies. That's kind of a dying trend. And when
yeah,
I do see it, it's usually with like people are mocking it. It's with derision.
yeah, no, definitely.
Um, but
Um,
I also don't know. Like I saw a bunch of gun bunnies at Shot Show once, and I only remember because they had like the worst fucking shirts on. It was like mini skirts and black tank tops that said like my pronouns are like 9/millimeter, and I wanted to kill myself. But that's the only example I can point to that I saw that entire time. Anyways, next,
no, absolutely.
yeah, uh, is Phantom Menace the best Star Wars movie, and why is the answer yes?
I have like nostalgia for Phantom Menace, like because like it was like the one that came out when I was like a kid,
Yeah,
and I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was like the best fucking thing
yeah,
ever. I still think that like in general, I think that the sequel trilogies get like way too much shit. I think that um they were going for like uh some like it's George Lucas autism at its
yeah.
finest, right? Like they just let him go hog wild with it. He didn't have someone there to edit the scripts and tell him no one gives a fuck about trade embargoes and shit like that in space. They want the cool lightsabers, and he just went all in on like making as many racist caricature aliens as he could.
Base.
And yeah, and like I still think that it was like pretty decent. I think definitely now that we've seen like the other uh what's called the other one since the other what's called
The new
before.
trilogy. I haven't watched the newest one.
Yeah, the new trilogy. Yeah, I think that we all know it can be a lot
Yeah,
worse now.
100%. It's gotten really corporate, which I mean it always was. Like Star Wars has always, like, at least in the background, been a little. I don't want to say always. It kind of got worse and worse as it went on, but now it is unashamedly a vehicle to sell merchandise, um,
Yeah.
and like a vehicle to make people's careers as opposed to anything else. Um, I look back on the original trilogy with nostalgia, even though I haven't seen Episode 3 somehow ever. In before everyone
You don't
messages me
think we'll
saying it's
see?
the best one. In before you say it's the best one.
Like Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah, the
episode 3.
no, yeah, it's like Phantom Menace, the second
Yeah,
one,
Attack of the
yeah, and
Clones, and
then
then Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, no, Revenge of the Sith slaps.
yeah, I
It's
hear
fucking good.
nothing but good things about it. I just haven't seen it. Like when it came out, I was doing stuff. I can't remember what, but I remember not being able to see it. Like my schedule was too full or some shit. I just never got around to doing it. And the same with
Yeah.
the newer trilogy. I've seen the first two. I did not really like them at all. Um, and then
No,
yeah, I haven't seen the third one of that either. But that being said, like I look back at the original prequels a lot more fondly than the new ones. The new movies
yeah.
were dog shit. That being said, people are going to hate this. I know I'm going to get shit. I think my favorite Star Wars movie in general, if you removed everything, if you removed every fucking like reason outside of like this movie just exists in and of itself, doesn't matter when it was made or who made it or what studio, or I think my favorite Star Wars movie in general was Rogue One.
I feel like I would like. I think I probably did disagree with you at the
Yeah.
time, but I feel like I've gotten greater appreciation for Rogue One since watching Andor. I really fucking liked
Yeah.
Andor, and I feel like that I think my main issue was that I was like, so I've always been like, Star Wars is meant to be a fun space opera. I don't want like super realism, like
Yeah.
shit applied to this. Like it always reminded me of like when people ask like, but how was Superman able to fly? It's like because it's a fucking comic book. It's not
Yeah.
real. Like that's how he's able to fly. So like when these start going into super like but what were the guerrilla forces of the resistance doing? I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. Shooting lasers. Like it's like, but then I think when that was the case, I watched Rogue One. I was like, I don't really give a shit about this like super realism shit in Star
Yeah.
Wars. But then the like sequel trilogy, I think retrospectively made me appreciate Rogue One more. And Andor is like, if you removed every Star Wars reference in Andor and it was like just brand new world, new names for characters, whatever, it would still be like one of the best fucking shows.
Yeah,
I've
I've
ever
heard
seen.
nothing
Like,
but good things about it, and I'd like to watch it if it continues.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I want to watch it if it continues the Rogue One universe, because that is like the
Yeah.
only Star Wars thing I can even palate right now. Um,
I would
and I heard it
highly,
didn't do
highly
well, which
suggest
makes me want to watch
Rogue
more.
One.
Yeah,
It's like if you took it's literally, what if someone was like oh, what if we made like prestige TV and it just happened to be Star
Yeah.
Wars?
and I like that,
Like,
and that's
it's
kind
really
of
good.
what I like. I looked at the, and I don't know about Andor, but I looked at the concept art and basically like the lookbook for what they wanted Rogue One to be, and it was directly referencing, because they're photo mashing things, like having artists paint over them.
Yep.
Footage from like Vietnam and the Gulf War, War on Terror,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. And I'm like, wow, this fucking slaps. This is a Star War. Funny that.
dude. So Andy Serkis what played a terrible character in the sequel
Yeah.
trilogy, Emperor Snoke, where it was a complete waste of a fucking
Yeah.
character. Um, and they cast him in Andor as a completely different character,
Interesting.
and holy fuck, he got to redeem himself completely.
Yeah.
Like he gives one of the best performances I've ever seen. Like he is
Yeah. Is it just a
phenomenal in shit.
standalone? Like, there's no chance of a second. Well, it didn't do well, so.
No, it can do a second season. I think they're shooting a
Oh,
second
good.
season actually. But it's like this. It's kind of like there's a number of stories within the
Yeah.
season that are like begin and end within the
Yeah.
season. You know, so like there's an overall overarching like situation going
Yeah.
on, but there's like the main story is like like sorted
Yeah.
out in the actual
So I
uh,
will
uh
pirate it because I don't want to give Disney Plus my money. Um,
do not watch on
yeah,
Plex.
I'll be watching it on Plex. But yeah, no, that's actually really interesting. I really, again, I've said this like 5 times over the show. I fucking loved Rogue One. And like I like media that grows up with me, if that makes any sense. Like
Yeah,
I watched the
I agree with that
original
too.
Star Wars. And I'm like, yeah, fun space opera. I fucking love this. Oh yeah, a lightsaber. Like I dressed up as Darth Vader for fucking Halloween when I was a kid. All that stuff.
Same.
And now I get like a mature piece of media for me to actually enjoy as someone who's not crazy about Star Wars, but I appreciate good media. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with it. I was really happy actually. Um, but yeah, that's my answer. What are yours?
Uh,
What
what was
am
the
best
question again?
Star Wars movie, and why is it the first episode
Oh,
one, which I clearly do not agree with because Rogue One exists.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, fuck of the movies, like probably probably like just for like most of the originals, like probably like I
Yeah,
like the probably the first one, you know, like that was like
yeah.
honestly
Star Wars
like
Episode
because
Four.
I yeah, like I remember watching that as a kid on VHS after my parents rented it from like the local store, and they were like, "This is like a really great movie that like we saw in theaters," and I was like fucking like I don't know like 8, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, you know, like I was like, this rules. Probably the
yeah.
originals, and then but I realistically now, if you ask me like now, like if like, what would I prefer to watch right now? I'd say I want to watch fucking Andor again. I fucking loved Andor. I thought it was
Yeah,
great. Um, it's kind of like Star Wars, one of those things now that at this stage you kind of the story backwards and forwards, the originals, and so like you're kind of just used to the setting. So then seeing a more kind of in depth exploration of that with Andor, I
yeah.
liked,
No, that
which I did in the first. I will fully admit I was a hater, but
yeah.
I Andor turned it around for me.
I generally trust your opinion, so I will give it a watch. And yes, it will be pirated because fuck big Disney. Um, sorry, what? I still haven't played the thing. What is the thing? Helldivers. I need to.
Helldivers,
Is Super Earth the result of America
dude,
realizing that they can turn the world's largest defense budget into the world's largest offense budget? You answer this one because I know nothing about Helldivers other than I've made some memes of it, done some art.
I mean, so all the lore building in Helldivers is done via just like in-game announcements, kind of some propaganda videos you
Yeah,
see, and then like the Twitter account of the actual
yeah,
game. I think if you look at that, then yeah, probably. I think if I had to take a guess, I would say that there's like obviously some sort of one world government that decided the best way to get everyone united was to attack a foreign enemy. Apparently, the bugs that we've been killing are actually a fuel source, and they're actually escaping from farms we had where we were turning them into
ha
oil,
ha
and
ha.
the automatons were AI robot slaves that are now uprising against us, and that's why we're killing them. So like it's like debatable as we're not we're the good guys, but at the end of the day, we're humans. They're not. Fuck them. Humanity forever.
I need to buy it. I know our server fucking loves that game, but
It's great. It's so fun.
I haven't even turned on my PlayStation since Phantom Liberty.
This is a good one, actually. You might like this one. Unfortunately, I wasn't apprehended in China, resulting in me gouging out the eyes of some poor PLA soldier for Joe Biden. However, now that I've returned to America, I have the opportunity to gaslight my uncle, who is a senior Raytheon employee who goes to the Pentagon weekly. How do I convince him that the Chinese turned me into a spy?
Well, first, before anything, I want to make sure we don't have any PLA spies listening to this. Okay, so before we get into anything, the Tiananmen Square protests of 1989, Tiananmen Square massacre, anti-rights struggle, the Great Leap Forward, Great Protestant Proletariat Cultural Revolution, human rights, Republic of China, Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. So I think now that any PLA spies will have been disconnected and their internet access has been revoked while a PLA SWAT team is on the way to their house. Um, Yeah, I don't have an answer to that. How do I convince them the Chinese turned me into a spy? Tape your eyes. Tape them into a slant.
Just start making like quietly making arguments for communism, or like get really really angry if you see like any like anti-China news on
Yeah.
TV.
Get mad if you
Just kind of
say
very,
see anyone refer to Taiwan as a country or Hong
yeah,
Kong.
like things like that, just little things,
Yeah. Um,
um
get very mad if
that's all I
anyone
think.
ever refers to Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, get super angry about Winnie the Pooh at random times. Or just like start like roll your eyes in the back of your head and just like start speaking in like a pre-learned Chinese phrase,
Yeah.
and then just like act like nothing happens, keep talking
The only
normally.
Chinese phrase I know, and it's probably not even Chinese, is "Yumo Gui Gui Fai Ji Sao," which is the chant that Uncle does to exorcise demons from the show Jackie Chan Adventures. I don't know what it
Okay, so
means.
do that
Yeah, do that.
while your eyes rolling in the back of your head at dinner, and then just like continue like the conversations if nothing
Yeah,
happens.
stand on one leg and like the crane pose. Clasp your hands together in a prayer pose and just like do squat one-legged squats while you repeat that ad infinitum. Um, if you could have any guest
Nice.
that was not an Art and War previously guest from either of BR's former podcasts, E Militia and his solo show, who would it be and why? Also, if and when Mitch comes back on, tell him that he's gay for liking the New York Yankees. I the Yankees play a sport. Is it baseball? What do the Yankees do?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
Mitch, you're gay. I know he listens to some episodes. He will come on again if we can force him. He said he'd be down. Actually, he had fun last time. I know he's doing good things. Big ups to Mitch for actually like
Shout out me.
having a good life now. He's doing pretty good. Um, I would say Jay Stark, but he's dead. That
What the
the,
fuck?
the fella that designed the first 3D printed, not the first actually. There's kind of contention about that, but kind of like made it mass known. I is my impression
Yeah.
of the FGC 9. Like he made it so it was metric hardware and stuff. 3D printed 9 mil subgun. It'd be cool to have him on, but yeah, he's fucking dead. Um, Mark from the Appalachian Rangers, the guy who started the whole thing. I want to know how his life has turned to shit now that everyone knows he was just kind of scamming everyone.
What did he do?
He lied to everyone, being like, "Yeah, I'm a cop. I'm starting a boys club, not militia thing to help with emergency preparedness." And then it turns out he was just kind of like a weird narcissistic ego tripper, and he was also never a cop, just lying about his whole
Okay.
backstory. It's kind of like a weird flex to brag about. Um, but other than that, I don't know. Me, because I've been on their show. Um, yeah, fuck.
There's a few that I missed. Faceless, I would have liked to be on
Oh,
for.
dude, we'll just have him back on. I love that guy. He said he'd come back on
Yeah, I
whenever.
love Faceless. I'd love to have to hop on with him.
You want to
And
co-host with me with
our
him
boy,
next week? I'll send
yes,
him a text or something. I think that'd be pretty cool.
and our boy Wendigo.
Yes. Oh fuck, I love Isaiah.
I
I've
want
been
to I
going.
want
Yeah,
to hear more about his new podcast, Red Thread, that is crushing it right
yeah.
now.
No, that's a good idea. You or I should send him a message, preferably you, because I'm not on the social media. So I'm
Yeah.
redelegating this. Yeah, we've had him on twice now, and he's fucking cool. He's not from E Militia, but he's our guest. Um,
Yeah.
Range cleanup, yes. So we are getting into the summer months soon. This time, here I am giving actual advance notice for this, not the 24 hours that I did last year. We will be having a range cleanup again this year. It will be a community day, probably down near Deary again. Probably the Boulder Creek campgrounds, middle of, I don't want to say fucking nowhere, but like 40 minutes outside of Moscow. If you're in Coeur d'Alene, Tri Cities, Spokane, Pullman, wherever, it wouldn't be too hard for you to get there. This year, and I went out yesterday and checked this range out, there's a hell of a lot less cleaning to do. People didn't fuck it up nearly as bad in the last 12 months than they could have. Like, our cleaning had a lot of permanence, so it would be good to have our yearly cleanup anyway. It'll probably take a quarter of the time that it did last year, and then have a shoot and a barbecue. Just like have a community day where we just fucking have people out, maybe run some courses. I'll bring a bunch of targets and stuff and do fun things. We don't have a date. We don't have anything yet. I'm anticipating like early June or late May. And one thing I'd like to do, again, there'll be prizes. I'd like to get them in hand instead of just having them mailed to you guys like last year. What I'll probably do is go on AliExpress and get a bunch of those red sunglasses from the Civil War, the ones Jesse Plemons is wearing when he's like, "What kind of American are you?" and just give them out because I think that'd be pretty cool door prize.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll raffle some stuff off again. Other than that, yeah. What else is in the Discord? We're having the Discord patrons give us live questions, which is kind of cool.
I think that was the majority of it. After that was apparently we banned some autistic guy from the Discord.
Yeah, that guy was a little weird.
I think we got
most of it. Yeah. On a side note, I hate sugar-free candy so fucking much. This is not good listening, and I don't give a shit. I got some of those Russell Stovers. I don't know if you can get them there, and they just made me shit my guts out forever. I think the maltol.
I've heard that before with the gummy bears.
Yeah,
the Amazon reviews for the gummy bears.
Yeah, it's sugar alcohol. It's like, no, it genuinely turned me into a fountain for like 48 hours. I do not recommend.
Yeah, I've never tried sugar-free candy, and I'm not inclined to based on the reports I've heard.
Yeah, no, I'm throwing it out, which is a pity because it's fucking expensive. I'm trying to cut out a lot of the processed sugar that I eat anyways, and it sucks because I have a bit of a sweet tooth, but I probably shouldn't eat this fucking chemical garbage. Anyways, thank you all for coming in. I appreciate each and every one of you. BR will be back soon, so we'll get back to the regular like guests content. We're doing a little bit shorter episodes, so he has less work to do while he's on vacation. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. Lucas, you got anything to wrap us up with?
No, that's pretty much it. Someone asked why I never responded to a picture of their balls. Do not send me balls or feet pics. I'm getting very upset by them. This, of course, means I'll be inundated with them.
Yeah. This is less questions than usual, but it also makes sense because we're asking it like balls late for most people. So not very many people are online. Normally we get like.
But no, nothing else really. Yeah, thanks for. I'm not dead. I am alive.
Yes.
I will be back on more episodes soon. I've just been crazy busy and contractors have been tearing my house apart. Yeah, so that's all.
One of these days, I'm
back.
One freedom visualizations. Remember when that guy made an AI episode of us talking?
That was incredible.
That was incredible. I want him to clone us. So if either one of us die and there's no actual murderer to take our place, then we can just have an AI one of us to gaslight everyone thinking we're still alive. It's totally what's not happening right now.
We're definitely not AIs.
We're not AIs. Lucas is still alive, I promise. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yep.
And bye.
Goodbye.